I'd do a video on this lovely Sunday morning about some of the challenges facing this industry. And I suppose I'm thinking specifically about robotics, mechanisation, which is coming more and more into our daily lives in every industry. I mean, if you went into a supermarket 10 years ago, all the checkouts would be full of men and women all working, putting through the groceries. Now you go in there might be a handful, but it's mostly do it yourself on the computers. And each industry will have its own version of that, and I'm sure the horticulture one will as well. I think it's still very early days, but you know, robotic mowers, that sort of thing. One of the challenges of this industry is the level of competition, because there are no real entry-level requirements for doing certain tasks. Anyone can set up a mowing round. They need no background, no experience, a bit of money behind them. Anyone can do it, which is not, you know, necessarily a bad thing in itself. But many elements of this trade are low skilled. And yes, there is a difference between how a professional will mow a lawn or cut a hedge than an amateur. But for most people, you just want the grass cut, and they don't want to pay a lot for it. So with more and more mechanisation coming in lots and lots of different industries, all those people that would be working in those industries are going to need to be doing something else. And they can't all work in bloody coffee shops. So I think we will see more and more people coming into the entry level sort of service position within gardening, doing your basic maintenance, lawn mowing, hedge cutting, etc, etc. And there are those who will come and go, as there always has been. But I think more and more people will do it purely out of necessity. And I think if you're in the industry now, or you're thinking about getting into it, it's a great industry to come into. But guys and girls, you need to offer more than mowing. You need to offer something with some real skill that needs knowledge, and set yourself apart from, I guess, the wider pool. And I'm not in any way putting down the wider pool, because they are needed. But I think you're going to need to offer a lot more to be able to not just survive, but also thrive. Landscapers, you know, if you're putting in walls and patios and all that sort of thing, that's a massively skilled trade. There's less people doing it, because you need to have real knowledge to do that stuff. That's why I don't do it. So that's one route you can go down if you like that sort of construction element of things. But you can stay in the maintenance route. But the biggest message for me is learn your plants. Learn your plants and really love that. You need to know how to prune it, why to prune it, when to prune it, what plants work well with it. Because that takes skill to know that, and there is a massive shortage of people who know that stuff. Most blokes, I suppose, They like their toys, boys and their toys. They like talking about their mowers. They like the things that are loud and, um, you know what I mean. And that's fine. But if there's a massive shortage of people over here, then do what you can to separate yourself. And what I've found, because my plant knowledge is pretty good, not being arrogant, but it's pretty good, you work in much more interesting gardens, because the average garden, when you drive around, it's fucking boring. It's dull. It's the same old stuff, and they can be a bit soul destroying to work in. But if you know your plants and you're passionate about that, and your customers can feel that passion coming from you, you will work in more interesting places. You'll get more interesting jobs. You can start to move into sort of design and planting plans, and people will pay more for you. Example, went to a customer 2 years ago now. Big, massive house, big walled garden. Her last gardener had left. I was a bit suspicious, but her last gardener had left. I went there, and she was a bit down about the garden. So we walked round and we chatted. And I was talking about her plants, and we were sharing ideas, and you could see her enthusiasm lift. Then we talked prices. And I said, I can come to you, I've got the space. Be £200 a day. She nearly shit herself. She tried to talk me down, but I wasn't having any of it. And I suspect I was at least £5, probably £10 an hour more expensive than anyone she'd ever had before. But I think my passion and enthusiasm convinced her to give it a go. And then it's up to me to deliver on that. And now, 2 years down the line, she's happy as a pig in shit. The garden's pristine. She doesn't have to worry about it anymore, because she knows that she's got someone that knows about the plants and cares about the garden, and it is improving it. So yes, she's paying more, but she's getting so much more. So you provide real value for people, and she knows that it's hard to find people to do that, because there isn't many out there. So if you can develop your skills and fit into that niche, and you're a good communicator, and you work hard, and you work efficiently, and you're polite, and you're a good communicator, you turn up when you say you're going to turn up, you can earn good money in this industry. Absolutely no doubt about it. Good money. But if you're just going to stick to the basics of mowing lawns and cutting the hedges, I think you're going to face a lot of competition going forward. I really do. We do anyway. And yeah, even if you've got that bit more knowledge, you'll still have to do the grass cutting and the more basic stuff. But you don't do so much of it. I hardly do any grass. Well, not a lot of grass cutting now, anyway. Which is good, because I haven't got to invest big bucks in new mowers and backup mowers and new strimmers and backup strimmers. Some days I do use no machinery whatsoever, no running costs other than a pair of secateurs. But the message is, and then I'll shut up, You have to develop your skills. If you stand still, you ain't going to go anywhere. But if you can develop skills and have a real genuine passion about what you do, you'll have a much more successful career. You'll earn good money and you'll enjoy your work. And hopefully one day you'll die happy. Knowing that you spent your life doing something interesting, and you've got to be creative because most people don't get that in their jobs. So that's my message to people in the industry or to people who want to come in. Find an area where you can develop and hone your skills and provide more value for people. And you'll have a good life doing it. No doubt. Now I'm going to bugger off. I need to fill up my bird feeders because I didn't do it last night and they're empty. And there's a little robin over there that's cussing me, so I'm going to go and do that. Thank you.